So as I'm continuing on from my previous comment about like how people brings up like random stuff saying actually this is my actually first time playing on this map. Holy crap, this game is wow, this is actually really cool, I have to say. This type of thing right here. But as I was saying though, cursing is not really up to my favor. Like sometimes when other people curse, I cuss a lot. It kind of makes me uncomfortable. And then when somebody drops the N-word, I just like lose respect for them. And it people these days that I know, like in high school, like a lot of people just say drop the N-word just because they want to sound like cool, they want to sound really cool and all that stuff. And that I just like start losing like really much of a respect towards that person. And it kind of makes me think that why would you say that, like that doesn't make any sense to me. How like why would you like I'm being that serious though. When I was around 6 or 7, it was when YouTube just started becoming really good, like famous with other people. Really, I wouldn't have found YouTube at an really early age without like my friend, my elementary friend Ryan. He showed me YouTube a lot, and I was like, hey, that's really cool. And since I wasn't really much of a computer person, I was like, whenever I was like 6, 7, I just played with Legos. That's all I did. I barely played any video games at all. But I guess this kind of like after that, realization, it kind of brought to my eyes that I really like playing video games now, since I kind of outgrew my childhood, I guess. But every time I see those I guess every time I go to the store, I always see those new sets every time I walk past going to the game section to like in any store like Target, Walmart. I'm not even sure if Kmart has it. But I usually walk past those, and I just see those new sets, and I just am like, what is this? But oh god dang, I just went off topic. God dang it. Okay. But as I was saying though, basically I'm not really much fond to cursing a lot anymore. I'm like, basically you can say that was basically my New Year's resolution. You could say that try not to curse a lot, or at least like say it out loud. But like basically when, like, I guess you can say my New Year's resolution is basically don't curse. Like I'm trying to make it better for me. Like cursing. People say cursing. It makes you feel good about yourself. Like some people told me like cursing makes you feel better. It lets like all the stress out. You yell at the top of your lungs, all that stuff. Well, actually last year I actually did that before. It was my mom. I was pretty angry with my mom. It wasn't really too serious. It was just that she was like saying like, oh, before I actually started recording like YouTube stuff, my mom forced me to play the piano, and I never liked it from the very beginning, so I never practiced it. And like I was into it at one point, but I stopped it from there. And I did curse a lot too, because I didn't really like playing the piano at all, and it sucked that my mom like forced me into it. So it was after she picked me up from school, and that she was telling me oh, she said something like she said that I had to give up something if I want to play piano, and I was telling her that's pretty stupid. I don't like cursing at my mom, because she's my mom, obviously. Like people that says like cursing at the mom is pretty makes you feel like better about yourself, feel better. But with me, my mom has been there for me about my whole life, and my dad partially, since he was basically away for most of the time. So I guess I didn't have much of a father role in my life. And okay, now I feel like I'm gonna cry right now after saying that. But I have to say though, it's kind of bad how, you know, it ends up like that. Like I feel really bad, you know. I still feel bad to this day that, you know, I yelled at my mom and cursed at her. You know, I just like, I feel like I didn't feel, like people say, you know, you feel better if you like curse, but I really don't. It basically, whenever I curse, it just shows that I'm still like in pain, I guess. As in pain, you know. Like I don't like how I'm acting. You know, it just makes me feel like, you know, I may laugh when I curse, but in the inside, I'm just like, you know, just basically dying, I guess you can say. Like not like those, like, not, I'm not turning emo or anything like that. I'm not cutting myself. It was just that, you know, it was just that there's certain, you know, like at some certain points there are some limits where, you know, I actually did feel like I wanted not to end it, but, you know, I wanted to, you know, actually stop cursing. And from most times where I'm at, about 99.9% of my, well, actually 100% of my entire high school curses, all the students curses. So there was no difficult way, you know, to actually, you know, stop, you know, like, there's like no way you can actually hear anybody else, you know, not curse at all at, you know, at this certain time, since apparently cursing is like what everybody's doing. So, you know, it kind of, you know, bites that, you know, that's how I was pretty much influenced when I was around like 7 and 8 years old, when I was around, you know, like elementary school, you know, 4th and 5th grade, 3rd and 4th grade, and so forth. So I was pretty much cursing my whole life, but, you know, I never cursed at my parents because, one, you know, it was disrespectful, and, you know, I'm much of a very, very respectful person when it comes to like other people, you know. If they have their own opinions, you know, I respect that. You know, if they don't like how I talk, then I respect that. I don't like how I talk either. So, you know, with this type of stuff, you know, like, I really don't really show my like true self around like new people, because I'm not that type of person. Like, once you actually get to know me, like, I'm more of a, you know, happy-go-lucky guy. You know, like people, like, you know, people attempt to like bring me down. Like one time, you know, this guy said like, "Oh, you're fucking gay." I was like, it was like actually, you know, in real life. So, you know, like, it didn't really like. And my friend, you know, he was like, not my, I don't really call him my friend. Well, the guy that was walking with me to our group, to my group, he's like, "Oh, dude, he called you gay. What are you gonna do about that?" I was like, "What do you want me to do? I'm not gonna do anything about it. It's his opinion. I don't give a shit." Well, I didn't say shit, but, you know, like, I didn't care. Like, you know, like, it just shows that, you know, people like have their own opinions about you. And the thing is that, you know, the person, like, I known him since not elementary, I known him since middle school. So, you know, most likely it ends up like that. And so they think that, you know, they just want to look like they're, you know, like they're cool around their friends and everything like that. So they make fun of the quiet people and so forth. But most of the time, I mostly am pretty much picked on whenever there's a chance for someone to actually do that. And, you know, it kind of bites, you know, actually having people that you actually know, you know, make fun of you and whatnot. But, you know, with me, I just walk it off. You know, like, I don't take it too vain unless if they make fun of my cousin, like anybody that's related to me, or like, you know, that's close to me. Like, for instance, like my cousins, if they make fun of my cousins, I get really irritated by it. And so I start cursing up a storm, you know, saying like, you know, I hope you, you know, die in a fire. I hope you, you know, all that stuff. Since, you know, I'm very much a protective person, because, like, if I haven't even lost one relative yet that I really remember. But my Uncle Frank, he did pass away when I was around 5 years old, so I barely remember anything about the funeral. All I remember was that everybody was crying and I didn't know who my Uncle Frank was. But all I know is that he was a really good man. And that he was really important to my aunt, so, like, after a while, I realized that, maybe, if I can do something about, like, changing myself, or, at least, try to change one thing, then I would say definitely, the cursing, because, in my opinion, like, I don't like cursing at all, and as I said multiple times already, that's why I always improvise with, like, dang it, darn it, butt salads, all that type of stuff, like whenever it's like somebody else that curses and I'm used to them, I just stare at them. It's like whatever, and if once they, after a while, if they still, just trying to make it like a joke and whatnot, I don't laugh. I just give a straight face basically, because there's no way that I can actually, like get used to it. Wow, I'm actually level 1. Like, there's no actual way, I can't, avoid the other. Like, I can't really force someone to be like, oh man, like, can you stop cursing, and then they were like, oh, what was that? Okay. Us just like attempted to kill me. But, like, I'm pretty much, if someone curses, I laugh because it's pretty funny, I have to say, if they say it in a weird accent, or, if they make it, they sound really, like, intense about it, But with me, though, cursing, like, I'm trying to, actually change myself for the better, trying to, I actually am, from what my sisters told me, that I'm actually a role model for my little cousin, so, like, that kind of, made me think, like, why am I showing my cousin, like, why am I cursing in front of my cousin, like, my little one? He's really close to me. He's basically like a little brother to me, so, like, I'm showing him a role that, cursing is a fun thing, it makes it funny. But, it's kind of much of a serious matter to me, since, if the word slips out of your mouth, then yeah, okay, that's fine. But if you just say, like, every 5 seconds, then that doesn't make you much of a better person. It just makes you much more of I guess, I'm not really sure what kind of word would really define it more easily. It's that, like, the word that I would really think about is that, like, it's just basically, it makes me think more about, like, how does this, like, why would you curse at something, like, in a game, like, people already know, like, it's just a game, it's just, just calm down a bit, think about what you're doing, think about your actions. And that's why, I try to make my word, that's why whenever I comment on, reply back to a comment, I try to, make it more, like, not like simple, but, like, more cautious, because I'm not sure how the person would react to at a certain comment, so, that's why it takes me a while to actually respond back, because I have to think about what to say, and, how to word it so it doesn't sound really weird at the same time. And it kind of makes me think more about how sorry, I gotta clear my throat. How cursing could really influence a person. Like, for instance, as I said, like, I've been seeing a butt ton of like, first graders cussing and whatnot. I guess that's how the new generation is now. I'm not really used to a lot, like, little kids cursing. But, it kind of influences itself with, like, Call of Duty stuff, and it kind of shows that, the videos they watch, or, like, their brother and sisters curse a lot, it kind of does show, I guess, that siblings can relate to seeing as their older brother and sister as a role model, and that, if they drop the N-word. They drop the N-word then because, you know, they think it's fun and it's a funny word. But what I learned when I was around 5, though, I did say the N-word once, and my sister was furiated. I'm pretty sure I told you guys this story. I'm pretty sure I said this before, and that, you know, it ended up like that, you know, made my sister really angry with me because, you know, I said the word because I didn't know what it meant, and I thought it was a funny word, so it ended up like that, and so forth. And my sister just said, do not say that word ever again, no matter what. And I was like, I was really embarrassed. Whenever you did something bad, you know, I don't think it's me. I'm not sure if anybody else does it, but like they feel like burning up, you know, because they feel embarrassed of what they just did. Like I feel embarrassed what I just did right here. Oh my God. Oh God. But you know, coming from me, you know, like I'm just nobody, you know. I'm just like this guy, just, you know, just here, just saying something about my past that I really don't want to look back upon, but it feels better when you actually talk about it more, and you know, I feel much more like a better person than you know what it actually is, and you know, I actually feel much better actually talking about it more and kind of, you know, think about it at the least, you know, not much of a hassle, since coming from me though, I'm much more of a quiet person that I really don't like people think I'm just, you know, I'm just an innocent person, you know, just there, just doing the work and everything like that, not like being influenced by drugs or anything like that. But as I said though, like cursing isn't much of my favor anymore. It just shows that people, you know, once they realize that you're like cursing, then they make fun of it, on how you're being enraged by those people that's like either being, you know, douchebags about it, or you know,
jeez, that's a big one.
or you know, just like completely just ruin your fun, so you start cursing at them and whatnot. And you know, it depends on how they play and everything like that. So it kind of depends on what the influence it is, what causes you to curse, and you know, how to make it better for yourself. For instance, for me, whenever like a difficult thing comes upon me, or like I actually tried to do something, you know, I get frustrated, so I start cursing, because it's a difficult task to do if you think about it, and that it caused me to, you know, think more about my actions, and that, you know, the experience that happened to me when I yelled at my mom, and I cursed at her, you know, I cursed at my parents as well, actually both of them, and it made me feel like really, you know, dark inside. Made me think more about like why did I do that? Why did I curse my parents and whatnot? It's just that, you know, it's just that the decisions they make that kind of takes me off a bit. But you know, I guess that kind of makes me sound like I was spoiled. I was much of a spoiled brat when I was around elementary school. So like, if I didn't get what I want, you know, I was, you know, spoiled brats. You know what to do, and you know, most of the time. But now, like, I rarely ask my parents for anything, and like, I know that the only thing that my mom would want me to do is never curse, and that's the best I can do for her. You know, try to, change my attitude towards cursing, and you know, it kind of makes me feel much more better about myself and about, you know, cursing, making it funny and whatnot. But sometimes you don't know who will take cursing seriously, you know, who doesn't. That's why I try to limit myself with cursing, or you know, swearing and you know whatnot. That's why I guess that's basically how I don't know if that's how I met your mother, apparently. I think Brandon's growing on me now. But you know, after learning like all the mistakes I did and all the stuff I really managed to do, ended up, you know, making me much more of a serious person when it comes around to cursing and comes around to anything else. And it, you know, it kind of made me think more about my actions, and that it kind of makes me feel like, you know, I can make myself a better person without trying to be funny with cursing and everything like that, and so forth. And there would be many to come as well, you know, like there'll be more problems that, you know, you will endure, and many problems that I will go through as well. But you know, just like I said, you know, just keep going forward. um, like I feel really bad about, you know, yelling at my parents, and you know, like they brought me to this world, so you know, I have much more. I have zero reasons to really treat them like they are right now, and as of right now, it kind of proves that, you know, being the better person makes you better at like reasoning with yourself more than actually reasoning with other people. Because first thing first, the first thing you should always do, you know, try to reason with yourself first of all, and you know, try to help yourself as much as you can beforehand, and before doing anything else. As I would say that it is more important to at least find the reason why you're doing, you know, cursing, why you curse, why you yell at your parents, why you know, all that shenanigans and whatnot. And it causes you to think about um, like why it makes me, you know, makes like you should really think about your actions towards like everything else, because it doesn't really show that being like, basically you should be the better person, and that making yourself, you know, show that you've changed more than anything else. Then it proves that you have certainly proved yourself that people can change themselves, but every change has a sacrifice, where you should always, you know, you can't expect yourself to change and, you know, be fine and dandy and have everything normal with you. But with every change you make, that, like, for instance, with me, swearing makes me more of a better person than actually responding to, you know, people saying like, oh, fuck you, and you know, all that shenanigans makes you feel more better of yourself, because you're cursing, and you think it's really cool that cursing is a better thing to respond to any questions, as you can see. But I'm gonna continue this.